everyone, Aimer back with another Mission Impossible video, launching what I've talked about for a very long time. A series of videos where I rank all of the episodes from worst to best. I'm putting out this introductory video to give a feel for how it's going to be. It's going to be in groups so that the videos are not too long. Perhaps for enthusiasts, once I'm done, I'll make one from end to end. But that's going to be quite the undertaking, and maybe I'll do that once it's all done. So, the rankings that I'm going to do here are based on the grades I gave the episodes during the reviews, starting with F and moving up the ladder. There will be some adjustments based on observations after the fact. I'm also going based on what I feel head-to-head when comparing two episodes against each other. Is one better or more entertaining than the other? And so each review is going to have a "it's better because" statement as to why I think it's better than the one before it. I'm going to provide a brief one-sentence summary of each episode's plot, as well as links to the reviews if you want to go see my full review of the episodes as we go. Also take note that the ranking will start from number 163 and will go up to number 1. Technically, there are 171 episodes, but I'm considering two-parters as well as the three-parter Falcon as one entry. So I just wanted to put that out there as an introduction before we get completely into it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to take some time, but I hope everybody enjoys it. Off we go. This is part 1. Starting with number 163, the worst episode of the entire original series. Season 7, episode 17, The Fountain. The IMF goes after the incriminating records stolen by mobster Thomas Bachman, who maimed his partner Matthew Drake during the theft. By convincing him he's found a fountain of youth that can help him make amends with his enemies. Just typing that was kind of painful. Here we have an antagonist with all three kisses of death. Thomas Bachman is lame. He's easily manipulated. He's a schmuck, has almost zero powers of observations or critical thinking, and he's completely unengaging. We do not care what happens to this guy, or pretty much anybody in the episode. The entire idea for the episode is just completely stupid, as it beggars belief that the bad guys would use this discovery of a fountain of youth to just agree to let bygones be bygones instead of one of them trying to make a fortune for themselves with it or some other idea. It is just absolutely nonsensical from beginning to end and definitely deserves to be the worst episode of the original series. Number 162, Season 4, Episode 12, Time Bomb. The IMF must prevent former agent Anton Malik, who is close to death from an incurable disease, from starting a nuclear war just because he feels like he has nothing to lose. Again, all three kisses of death for the antagonist Anton Malik. He is played by Morgan Stern, is a complete Debbie Downer throughout the entire episode. I said in my review, and I stand by it, they should have made this episode. The IMF has to come up with some way that he just blows himself up. Peter Graves is completely ridiculous as a New Age artist. This episode is only better than The Fountain because it has one slightly bright spot, the presence of Barbara Luna, who makes the most of her opportunity as a guest agent and is a ridiculously hokey New Age healer character. She's at least a little bit entertaining. That's it. Number 161, Season 2, Episode 20, The Counterfeiter. The IMF takes down drug counterfeiter Raymond Halder by forcing him into getting treated at one of his own clinics with his useless drugs. Unfortunately, in this one, Edmund O'Brien as the adversary was just not up to the task physically. He was near the end of his career and his life. But this story is terrible, and unfortunately, O'Brien has all three kisses of death. He's lame, he's a schmuck, and he's really not engaging at all. Not his fault as a human being, but He's a terrible, terrible character. This one is better because at least it has the advantage of the original cast, including Martin Landau and Barbara Bain, who make it better just with their presences. But this is terrible, and the screenplay is borderline cartoonish. Number 160, Season 4, Episode 21, you knew it was coming, Lovers Not. The IMF go to jolly old England to find and neutralize the mysterious Kay, who is leading espionage against the United States by using Lady Cora Weston. But Paris finds himself attracted to her. Yeah, this is the one that still makes me facepalm. There are so many plot holes, so many missed details, just basic stuff. There's a romance for Paris that just doesn't click because Jane Marrow, as Lady Cora, shows zero charisma in this episode. It's better than The Counterfeiter because the only thing that is even worth mentioning is the presence of the fine English actor John Williams, who does some good work in his scenes towards the end. Number 159, Season 6, Episode 13, Run for the Money. The IMF has to use the rivalry between mobsters Trask and Mason to prevent them from increasing the syndicate's hold on racetrack gambling. This is an excuse plot. It's one of the dumbest reasons for the IMF to get involved with a group of people, and as you'll see, that covers a lot of ground. This one has two villains who both carry the full set of kisses of death. It's a remake of the not great episode The Contenders from Season 3. It's a boring, cookie-cutter plot. Better than the previous episodes because it has two bright spots. Linda Day George has a good outing in this one, and there's one henchman of the bad guys who at least shows a little bit of competence. Number 158, Season 7, Episode 21, The Western. The IMF must find and retrieve priceless Mayankatech artifacts stolen by Van Cleve and his partner Matthew Royce. It's sometimes a very bad thing when the IMF talks about the villain being really intelligent during the apartment scene, because it often means that he lacks wisdom and even basic observational powers. This is a really lazy script where the writers just chose a setting in the Old West and hoped for the best. It's better than the previous episodes because the writers use a wild card in this one to generate a little bit of suspense. It accomplishes little, but I give them credit for trying to put something in this episode to make things interesting. Number 157, Season 6, Episode 22, Trapped. The IMF must use a rivalry between brothers Doug and Art Stafford to bring down their family's corrupt business empire. But Jim suffers temporary amnesia, risking the mission. This is a horribly boring and hackneyed plot with a very miscast Bert Convy as the main mark. The writers try and shoehorn the amnesia plot into the story to create some suspense, but it doesn't help, and it just serves to illustrate how little this episode has to offer in terms of any kind of interesting story. It's better than the previous episodes because of the presence of Sharon Acker as the kind incidental character Annette, who assists Jim during his predicament. And the producers use the oboe music that reminds me of better such characters. That's a dirty trick they played on me there. Number 156, Season 2, Episode 17, A Game of Chess. The IMF must prevent chessmaster Nicholas Grote from commandeering a massive gold shipment destined for a friendly underground resistance movement. The villain, Grote, in this one is a complete chump who is just led down the garden path by the IMF. If it's your thing to watch an episode where the IMF just gets to do whatever they want to a guy without any resistance, watch this one. This is better than the previous episodes because there is some livelier action than the episodes preceding it, and it's the original cast with Martin Landau having some fun. but that's about it. I'm going to leave it here for now. These are the worst episodes of Mission Impossible from the original series so far. I'll pick it up with part 2 very, very soon. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when this and other videos are posted, the next one in the series. And please leave your comments. If you think that there's an episode here that doesn't belong on the list, I'd love to hear your reasons why. If you think there's an episode that wasn't here that should be here, I'd like to hear about that too. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.